I'm Jasril from the Customer Success Team at Consultare Inc. Group. Last week, we covered the Complaint Management Program as outlined in SQF Code Clause 2.1.3 under Management Commitment. And during that session, we received an inquiry from one of the participants. The question was, when handling a complaint, if the root cause is employee error or lack of knowledge, what actions should be taken? Is training the only corrective action, or are there other options? Now, to provide clarity, when a complaint results from employee error or lack of knowledge, corrective actions must both resolve the issue and prevent it from recurring. While training is one of the options, other measures may include updating procedures or work instructions, providing job aids or checklists, adding supervision or quality checks, adjusting processes or equipment, and offering coaching or competency assessments. All actions must be documented and verified for effectiveness in line with SQF Clause 2.1.3 or Complaint Management. So we hope that this explanation has provided clarity on the question raised. Now let's move over to this week's topic. Today we will focus on Food Safety Management System or FSMS program, specifically SQF Code Clause 2.2.1 under document control and records requirements. So this program emphasizes maintaining comprehensive FSMS documentation, either electronically or in hard copy, ensuring that all relevant staff have access to it. This documentation includes a summary of your food safety policies, the food safety policy statement, organization chart, scope of processes and products, applicable regulations, raw materials and finished product specifications, procedures, prerequisite programs, process controls affecting product safety, and any additional documents necessary to support the development, implementation, maintenance, and control of your SQF system. Understanding and implementing this requirement ensures that your FSMS is complete, accessible, auditable, and aligned with SQF standards, supporting both compliance and effective food safety management. By the way, this free training session is sponsored by Consultare Inc. Group, a compliance company. Consultare Inc. is a registered U.S. government vendor specializing in compliance management, regulatory documentation, quality systems, cybersecurity, and digital transformation support. We began by assisting businesses with U.S. import and export compliance and have since evolved into a global provider of food safety, quality, and certification support. Today, our services revolve around compliance management software, specialized training, and end-to-end support services that help organizations achieve and maintain compliance with international standards. Through our platform, interlinkiq.com, we offer an integrated compliance management system that streamlines documentation, monitoring, and audit readiness. We also provide dedicated compliance and certification support programs for FSVP, PCQI, SQF, PRCGS, FSSC 22000, ISO 9001, GMP, and HACCP, helping businesses strengthen the regulatory compliance, enhance operational efficiency, and ensure alignment with global food safety and quality management standards. Now let's review our training schedule for the free SQF certification training. For this week, we will cover the Food Safety Management System or FSMS program as part of SQF 2.2 Document Control and Records Requirements. In today's session, we will cover the Food Safety Management System program, starting with an overview of the requirements and a walkthrough of the compliance action activities performed on a regular schedule to maintain certification readiness. We will also discuss the annual review and internal audit activities, which help verify program effectiveness and drive continuous improvement. You are also encouraged to ask questions in the chat box, which we will address in next week's session as we did today. Participants may also request a free 90-day trial of our SQF certification management software to help manage compliance tasks, assign accountability, and stay audit ready. And finally, all participants will receive a familiarization training certificate. So please ensure that you have completed the training sign up form that we shared in the chat. On the screen, you will see a sample of the familiarization certificate that you will receive upon completing each session. Please note that certificates are issued every Friday and Monday, so please allow our team more time to process them. With that, let's move forward to our training session where we will be working directly with the SQF Compliance Management System software. So let me stop sharing and reshare my screen. So let's start by going over the description. So as you can see on the screen, the description is indicated here to make implementation easier. So it states to implement SQF 2.2.1.1, food safety management system shall be maintained in electronic or hard copy documentation. They will be made available to relevant staff and include the following. First, a summary of the organization's food safety policies and the methods it will apply to meet the requirements of this standard. The food safety policy statement and organization chart, the processes and products included in the scope of certification, food safety regulations that apply to the manufacturing site and the countries of sale, if known, raw material, ingredient, packaging, and finished product specifications, food safety procedures, prerequisite programs, food safety plans, process controls, and impact product safety, and other documentation necessary to support the development, implementation, maintenance, and control of the SQF system. So please note that you may update or edit the description as needed to reflect revisions when the new SQF editions, such as the Edition 10, will be released in the future. Now, to implement this program, we have created a list of action items in the Compliance tab. So here, you will see the actions that the FSQA or the SQF practitioners needs to perform on based on scheduled tasks according to frequency, whether they are performed daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or semi-annually. So here are some examples of your compliance action items that you need to perform on a daily basis. First is to verify that production, QA, and sanitation staff are using only controlled current versions of forms or SOPs and work instructions. Next is to check that all relevant staff have access to required electronic or hard copy documentation in their work areas. And for the weekly activities, spot check that new or revised documents follow the approval and version control procedure, and review and update raw material, ingredient, or packaging specifications if any new materials are introduced. For the quarterly activities, confirm that the master list of controlled documents is current, complete, and accessible. Check for any process, product, or equipment changes that require updates to food safety procedures or prerequisite programs. Evaluate whether staff need refresher training on document control or access updates. Ensure all process control parameters like CCP records or monitoring forms are current and effective. For the biannual activities, review and update the register of applicable food safety regulations and export requirements. Conduct a semi-annual review to ensure all material and product specs are current and approved, and audit departments to verify that all control documents are current and obsolete versions are removed. So basically, this serves as your checklist of the compliance activities that you need to perform. You can either add your own compliance activities or action items here, or we can preload all the required activities for you to perform. Now, to complete these activities, we've provided corresponding work instructions and compliance activities here in the instructions and evidence section. along with the required artifacts or records to document completion. For example, to complete an action item, let's say you will be planning to perform this activity, verify that production, QA, and sanitation staff are using only controlled current versions of forms, SOPs, and work instructions. And verify that all relevant employees understand how to identify controlled documents. So your first activity is to identify controlled documents used by production, QA, and sanitation. So this involves listing all the forms, SOPs, and work instructions currently in use by production, QA, or sanitation departments. You also need to verify that each document is controlled under the site's document control program and includes the latest approved version. So for your artifacts and or records, you need a master document, register, control documents list by department, and document change request. Next is to verify document accessibility and version control in work areas. So you need to conduct visual checks or internal audits in all relevant areas like the production floor, QA stations, sanitation rooms to ensure that only current approved copies of forms, SOPs, and work instructions are posted or used. And you need to remove any obsolete or uncontrolled copies. Next is to confirm staff awareness and training on document control. So you need to verify that all relevant employees understand how to identify controlled documents and where to access the latest versions. You also need to provide refresher training on document control procedures if gaps are found. So the artifacts or records can include training attendance sheet, training presentation or handouts, competency assessment or quiz results, and employee acknowledgement form. For the next activity, you need to review and update document control procedure. So it includes ensuring that the document control procedure clearly defines methods such as or frequency and responsibilities for maintaining and issuing controlled documents. It also involves updating the procedure as needed to reflect current practices and SQF requirements. So you need the document control procedure, the controlled copy, the procedure revision lag, management review minutes or approval form, and controlled document distribution record. So this is the work instruction on how to perform this specific action item. So to complete this action item, you need to upload supporting evidence of your artifacts, records, forms, or images. So for this same action item, compliance can be demonstrated by uploading a sample document, which is in this case, controlled document use verification record. So let's take a look at the document. So this document or this record showed a verification activity conducted to ensure that employees in production, QA, and sanitation were using only the current controlled versions of forms, SOPs, and work instructions required under the SQF Food Safety Management System. The verification took place on the early part of the 2025 and was carried out by the QA supervisor who reviewed posted documents and the versions in use across all these three departments: production, QA, and sanitation. So for production and QA department, um, it is found to be fully compliant with all staff using up-to-date documents that match the master document list. However, during the review of the sanitation area, an outdated version of a cleaning and sanitizing SOP was discovered. The outdated copy was removed immediately and replaced with the current version, and the sanitation lead was rebriefed on proper document control practices. Preventive actions were also implemented and including adding sanitation storage areas to the weekly document posting checklist and establishing a weekly sign off to confirm that controlled versions are in place. So this record concludes with a determination that overall compliance was achieved with one minor nonconformance corrected during the verification and includes management signatures to confirm review and approval. So this is just an example or sample document that can be used as evidence of compliance to complete the action items that we've mentioned earlier. When you perform all the compliance action items here and completed the supporting records, your compliance status will be updated from no to yes. So your goal is to turn every no into yes and achieve 100% compliance on all of these action items. So once again, these are simply examples of compliance best practices that you can adapt in your facility. You may also customize or develop your own action items tailored to your specific processes. Now let's go over to the annual review tab, which also serve as your gap assessment tool. So this is designed as an internal audit checklist in the form of questionnaire. And for this specific program, the food safety management system, let's take a look at some of the assessment question applicable to this requirement. First, are all current versions of procedures, forms, and work instructions available in production and QA areas? Are obsolete or outdated documents promptly removed from the work areas? Do all staff have access to current control documents, whether they are electronic or printed? Are new or revised documents reviewed and approved before release? Are specification updates for raw materials, ingredients, or packaging reviewed and communicated to all affected departments? Is the master document list reviewed and confirmed to be current and complete? Are food safety procedures and prerequisite programs reviewed for accuracy and effectiveness? Are process control documents like CCP monitoring forms verified as up to date and properly used? Are staff reminded or retrained as needed on how to access and use control documents? Are obsolete versions of documents properly archived and not accessible in active areas? Are any changes in process, product, or equipment reflected in updated documentation? Is the register of applicable food safety and customer regulations reviewed and updated? Are all raw material, ingredient, and finished product specifications verified for completeness and current approval? Is a document access audit conducted to confirm that all departments use only current versions? And are regular and customer updates are regulatory and customer updates incorporated into site documentation as needed? So these are some of the assessment questions that you can use to verify compliance to this food safety management system program requirements. So to demonstrate compliance, let's take one annual review item as an example and see how to complete this assessment item. So let's pick this one. Are new or revised documents reviewed and approved before release? Work instructions are also included here on how to complete this assessment item. So let's take a look at the work instruction. So first is you need to review document control procedure by verifying that the facility's document control procedure defines the process for reviewing and approving new or revised documents prior to release. It also involves confirming that responsibilities, approval authorities, and review steps are clearly stated. Next is verifying document review and approval records. So this involves checking that each new or revised document includes documented evidence of review and approval, such as signature, initials, or electronic approval before being issued or made accessible. It also involves ensuring that only authorized personnel approve document changes. Next step is to confirm version control and effective date assignment. So this can be done by verifying that approved documents include version numbers, revision dates, and effective dates before release, and ensure that these details are consistent across the document and master list. And then audit release and distribution process. So this involves observing or reviewing the process by which approved documents are released and distributed to ensure only reviewed and approved versions are made available, and confirming that obsolete drafts or unapproved revisions are not accessible. And then for the compliance activity 5, verify staff awareness of new or revised documents. So this can be done by confirming that staff are notified when new or revised documents are approved and released. Also, you need to ensure acknowledgement or training occurs before implementation if changes affect operations or food safety. Now let's check how to demonstrate compliance with this assessment item. So to demonstrate compliance, we have uploaded the document review and approval record. To answer the question, are new or revised documents reviewed and approved before release? So let's open the document review and approval record. So as you can see, this record shows that the facility carried out a verification to ensure that all new or revised documents are properly reviewed and approved before they are released for use. So during the verification, 4 documents were examined: the SOP for hand washing procedure, work instruction for packaging line startup, and then the form, the glass and brittle plastic inspection log, and the SOP for equipment changeover. So 3 of these documents are found to be compliant, were all confirmed to have been reviewed and approved on time with signatures and dates documented according to the facility's document control procedure. 1 document, however, the revised equipment changeover SOP, was still in draft status and awaiting approval. So the record notes that although the approval was delayed, the document had not been released or used, and it remained clearly marked as a draft, which shows proper control even while pending. So a corrective action was taken to approve the document immediately, and a preventive step was added to improve the tracking system so that draft documents do not remain unapproved for longer than expected. So the record concludes that the facility is following its document control requirements and demonstrates management oversight through the signatures of the QA coordinator and food safety manager. So this is just an example of how to complete a specific assessment item by providing evidence of compliance in the form of a completed record. So your goal is to complete all these annual review items to keep your site fully prepared for both internal and external SQF audits.